What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, Chief Marketing Officer, tigerfitness.com, IFBB Pro, alongside my partner in, well, not crime, that's a different company. Your name?
Katie Lobliner.
I was making a joke.
I know.
Yeah, that was a funny joke. So let's talk about the Arnold Classic. What? I'm just trying to get in. Only got so much camera room here. All right, let's talk about the Arnold Classic, right? So we went to the Arnold, and I want to address a couple things. I also want to give you my thoughts on what happened at the Arnold Classic. What went on? I want to talk about attendance. I want to talk about why I thought it was down. I want to talk about how we did at the Arnold. I also want to talk about the Arnold and trade shows moving forward, and of course, give credit where credit's due. But I think the number one thing we want to go off on is the fact that our booth was awesome. And we really appreciate everyone who stopped by. Everybody got hugs. We had Chris Jones. We had Mr. Olympia and Arnold Classic two-time champion, Brandon Curry. We had so many great people. Jose Raymond, our team, Wayne, Congo. I'm going to forget somebody, Felix, Matt, the whole squad, right? So we had an amazing time, and we did very well. For those of you being like, oh, it was a waste, this and that, I'll tell you what. This Arnold, I'm not going to say we made millions. We did not lose money, but we did the attendance was down. What do you have to say about like our booth?
So our booth is very unique, and I only tried explaining to one couple when they asked about it, like what it was, because we're Tiger Fitness, but we also represent the companies we own.
015, Ambrosia, MTS, Pump Chasers, outright.
Yeah, I know what they are.
I was helping.
I don't need help.
She doesn't think so.
So I was trying to explain that to one person, and it was very difficult. I don't know if they were clueless or what, but we were there with all of those companies with a product sampling from each one. We gave away free outright bars with email sign up, which was the hit of the show we've heard from some people. The line was constantly going. I have no idea how many outright bars we gave out. We're waiting for that number, but it was
thousands.
It was thousands.
I was helping you. You said you didn't know.
I don't need help. Mental, maybe.
Flipper.
But let me finish my sentence. So we had a very unique setup. I think it was also very unique. I also spoke to a few people about this, and I didn't always throw it out there, but when I was talking about the companies, Marc doesn't usually say we or he never says I, but we. I was explaining the outright bar to someone because it was created for our children, and the look on the person's face was like kind of in shock, and they're like, wait, this is all like your companies? And I'm like, yes. And that was kind of shocking. And I think that the reason it was kind of shocking is the difference between us and a lot of companies is CEO and CEO's wife was there working 95% of the time. From setup to shut down, we were there all but a couple hours of time, and that was like probably in the very early morning VIP hours and the very end of the day on Saturday, because we went back to the house and got ready for the night show. So we have a very unique situation. We have a very diverse, unique group of people who are family. Marc mentioned a few names. There was Kate there, and Matt, our friend Justin Renfro, who just wanted to come hang out and help out, and so many people, so many awesome people that came out, and when we're together, we're like family. It's like haven't been apart for years, because a lot of them we haven't seen in a while. We haven't seen Wayne in a couple of years. We brought our children this year, which was another thing. So we said, screw it, we're taking them out of school. They are going to learn more in this 4-day, 5-day period of time than years of schooling can teach them. And they freaking killed it.
They absolutely murdered it, man. Murdered it.
So Cammie was, on the outright sign-up side a lot. Thomas was interacting with consumers doing that.
Mainly attractive women.
He was doing the sales, like with the credit card purchases on the Samsung device thing. Like, they killed it. They worked their butts off. Preston was throwing trash away, restocking bars. Like, they worked their ass off. They are spent. We're pretty damn tired.
It's been a rough few days.
But overall, even with the attendance down, and we've heard numbers as low as 15% attendance at the expo. Even with that low number, because it wasn't so congested, I felt like we still interacted with a lot of people. It was quality conversations. We were able to educate people on products and talk to them, and I think for that it was good. So yeah, it was a great weekend.
So with that said, our booth was awesome. We appreciate everyone coming by. Got to mingle with, of course, my good friend Rich Gaspari stopped by, and so many awesome people. Talked to Nate Epler, who I'm actually trying to kind of mimic his physique.
Yeah, Marc kind of fanboyed.
So we fanboyed each other. He came up, he's like, dude, you did so amazing. I'm like, dude, Jose tells me every day I need to look like you.
The conversation happened after the night show on Saturday where we were all exhausted.
I was fanboying.
I didn't know who it was because I was too tired to pay attention. I just saw him talking to someone. We were all waiting to take a picture. We're falling asleep. Preston was asleep on the floor at this point outside the doors of the ballroom, amphitheater, whatever the heck you call it. So it was like, Marc fanboyed for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome because I do admire that man's physique because I think I can get close to it and hopefully do what he did at New York Pro and be a taller guy. 5'7" in 212 is taller, winning the 212. But I wanted to talk about the attendance and why it is down. I don't want to avoid the, 1,200-pound gorilla in the room. Based on the messages and the hate mail I have received, dozens, if not hundreds, I am a sellout for doing the Arnold because Arnold said, screw your freedoms.
Right, he got lots of those comments.
Now, I'm not, and messages. I'm not going to bring up the fact that we gave up personally millions and millions of dollars turning down Kroger because we are against mandates and we are against discrimination against those who do not want an experimental medical procedure. I'm not going to bring that up. But I will say this, the Arnold is not about Arnold. I know it has his name on it, but it all came to fruition. I realized why we were there on Sunday when J.M. Mannion, Jim Mannion's son, whose son, Tyler, has done an amazing job running the IFBB. It is better than it's ever been. And we spent about 60, 70 minutes talking to JM about family, about the sport. And the reason we were there isn't because we love Arnold. Because if you guys know me, look, I harbor no hatred for Arnold. I just don't care for the guy. I don't care for him. I never have. Okay? But bodybuilding is the greatest sport on earth, in my opinion, as far as being a subjective sport, and they keep it as fair as humanly possible. And it's just an amazing place. The community is great. If you go to the Arnold and you talk, people are friendly. Like, you think we're a bunch of narcissists, egotistical bastards. You go to the Arnold and everybody's nice. If you need your picture taken, hey, bro, can you take our picture? Yeah, anytime. And then they get the angles and they're taking pride in it. There's something about this industry that I think is underutilized, the fact that we all really care about each other. And I really love it. And another reason we were there, beyond supporting the IFBB, where I'm a proud pro and I want them to do the greatest, is, let's be honest here, guys, our business partner was in the show. Brandon was competing in the Arnold. And he won the Arnold. Well, but I'm not there yet. So think about it this way. We were there to support Brandon and to support the IFBB and to meet as many of you as possible. Arnold's so rich. Trust me, the profits from this show are doing nothing for him. He's still filthy rich on just royalties of the Expendables being played. Okay, you know who benefited? The city of Columbus. This is a huge revenue driver for the city of Columbus. And if y'all didn't know, y'all better ask somebody. We are a Loveland, Ohio incorporated and based company. We are an hour and 10 to an hour and 30, depending on traffic, minutes from Columbus. We were there to support our state and the city of Columbus, alongside, of course, the Mannions, alongside, of course, Steve, everybody involved, the IFBB, and our partner, Brandon. That's it. So if you think for 1 second, the two people who collectively came together, my wife and I, and turned down $1 million contract with Kroger. If you think for 1 second we sold out for doing this show, go ahead and find who else? Who else? There's a lot of bars at Kroger. Find Go hassle those companies, because a lot of those brands, I'm not going to mention names, they play the whole America. But when it comes to affecting their pocket, everybody's like, oh, you're just going to the Arnold for money. I'll tell you this, I told you earlier, we didn't lose money. We didn't make it either. We're banking on the advertising to make us break even. Right. But cost spent to money made right now, we're in the negative. So I didn't profit. Sure, we got exposure. And that's where we're banking on us not losing money. But we were there for the sport, and we were there for Brandon, we were there for the city. And if you don't like it, frankly, if you're too stupid to see that, I don't want your business anyway. Because we have done more for this country by standing up to this, and no one followed me. We were the only ones to stand up to the mandates in this industry. Oh, I'm gonna say it, Redcon, Singerman comes out, we're boycotting the Arnold. There was no expo last year. They lost nothing. I actually put my money, what account did Redcon turn down? Yet nobody's coming at them. Yeah, you're coming at me for being at the Arnold. Dude, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Dude, this guy comes out, screw your freedoms. Come on. Come the fuck on. There was no expo last year. It's a bunch of virtue signaling bullshit. We turned down millions of dollars. We were there for the sport, and we were there for Brandon and the fucking city. So if you have a problem with that, well, I guess we're just never going to get along. I'm done.
That was pretty angry. So one of the things
a lot of steroids, babe, a lot of trend.
Noticed when we were driving around town was the number of businesses that had gone out. Max and Irma's downstairs.
That was a staple for egg whites. All you can eat egg whites, every Arnold.
Downstairs is that the Hilton across the street? We've gone there.
Crown, I think it's a Crown.
The Crown downstairs there. We've gone there many years at the Arnold, and it was out of business. So think about all of the businesses in town that didn't have the trade, that's the people that come for the trade shows come and support those businesses. Those people have no jobs. They had no revenue coming in. So, I mean, even around town, there were several larger businesses that appeared to have gone out of business. So bringing a huge trade show like this back to Columbus generates a lot of income and jobs for the people that work the trade shows and all of that. So we want the economy to get back to where it was. And so hopefully this helped, even though the attendance was low. The other thing to mention was apparently there still was a mask mandate in the city of Columbus that was scheduled to expire Monday after the Arnold, but it was not enforced. However, that could have potentially affected attendance.
Very true.
If people went online and saw a mask mandate at the convention center and might have been like, oh, I don't want to go to that.
People are over that shit. I'm over it.
I saw maybe the whole weekend a total of like 12 people in masks.
Out of thousands.
And I feel like some of them were clearly from a different country. That could be a part where, but that could have played a part in the lower attendance. And I think a lot of people are just, because of the jobs going away, a lot of people can't afford to travel.
Look at gas. Yeah, look at gas. I was like, yeah, gas prices have gone up. Yesterday we paid $3.89 a gallon on our way home, somewhere between Ohio and Tennessee. And today, locally here, we paid $4.19, and it's only getting worse. I looked up LA, and gas prices are closer to like the $5.25 mark. And yeah, let's go, Brandon Curry.
So yeah, it's a hot mess. So that's the expo synopsis. Let's talk about the bodybuilding show part of it.
We can. Let's go back to real quick the masks. I have two stories. One is I walked in, no one's in masks. So I talked to one of the workers there and I said, hey man, what's going on with the masks? He's like, bro, we're a union. We don't get paid enough to enforce that shit. And then I saw 3 cops walking without masks. So I'm like, hey guys, I gave me an outright bar. I said, hey, what's going on with the mask mandate? The cop looks around, looks at me, goes, fuck that mandate.
I did see the food prep people within the convention center wearing a mask. So that may be like certain corporations as a whole are still mandating their employees.
I call them Nazis.
To wear masks.
So the show. Look, dude, Nick Trigilli covered it well. And I haven't mentioned him lately because I do think he kind of did Jay Cutler wrong. But Nick Trigilli had a good video. Look, dude, the judges look for what the judges look for. And the pictures you see are from the stands. Judges see everything up close in an upward angle. Look, dude, Brandon Look, man, by the way, tomorrow we're going to have him on the Lobliner Lowdown podcast. Not subscribe now. Go to Lobliner Lowdown and subscribe to that shit. YouTube.com/Lobliner. I want to tell you about this because bodybuilding is kind of my thing. I am biased. Brandon was not 100%, but I think he brought enough to argue that as a judge, you could put him in first.
I think he went into this show going for a different look than he'll need for the Arnold because Rami... For the Olympia, because I'm tired, so the words are there, but not because he wasn't going up next to a mass monster like Rami. He knew his competition coming to this and maybe had a different strategy. Yeah,
look, man, Bonac was his best ever. Brandon wasn't his best ever, but he was just good enough to win.
They each have flaws. It just depends on what the judges are looking for that night. That's any bodybuilding show. There's no concrete judging criteria that everyone goes by.
You guys are, a lot of people talking shit, and I'll do a more in-depth video on this, are just looking at the physique as a whole. But you got to look at body parts. Bonac's hamstrings were very underdeveloped compared to his glutes. He had lopsided legs, and I'm going to say it as a guy who has this issue, he needs to get his gyno fixed. Those were glaring. Brandon was off. There was a watery film. He wasn't conditioned enough, and he wasn't full enough. He was flat. Both of them had flaws. But when you look at it, overall, Brandon had less flaws, even being off. Now, if Brandon was on, we wouldn't be having this discussion. But look, dude, Brandon has a mirror. He's been doing this a long fucking time, and I'm looking forward to see what he brings to Olympia. But enough of those two. Justin Rodriguez, wow. That guy was amazing.
He got fourth?
Kuklo got third. Kuklo, my boy Kuklo was his best ever. That Samson Dowda, I can't pronounce his name. Anyway, I think he got fifth. He looked amazing. The big letdown was Brett Wilkin. I had him third in the beginning.
Seventh or sixth, and then Regan Grimes got.
So Regan's just not ready for this level. And now they're blaming it on COVID like everybody always does when they lose. Look, dude, even if you had COVID, just shut up. Like, nobody knows. Like, one of Phil's Olympias, I won't tell you which one, where he was off, he had bad food poisoning. He never went public about it. He'll probably slap me for saying this because Phil didn't want to be seen as a bitch. Look, dude, if you lose, I don't care if you had COVID, herpes, the clap, you just shut the fuck up and say you'll get better next time. COVID, Milo's like, oh man, I gave Regan COVID. Dude, just shut up. You lost. You were off. But Regan's amazing. That guy looks good. But dude, take the L and don't blame. Dude, everybody from now on when they lose a show is going to blame COVID. Everybody.
The thing I like about Brandon and always have, even before we were, affiliated with him in a business and friend level, is that afterwards he's a gracious loser, and
he knows how to lose,
right? Like and he said this in an interview that I listened to last week. He's lost more than he's won.
Desktop bodybuilding.
So I think it's like, keep it classy. Like, the judges are the judges, and you don't know what's in their minds that day.
And I'll tell you what, as someone who knows the judges personally, they don't play that political shit, man. They just see things different than us, man. It is what it is.
The bottom line is, Brandon won. Let him have his moment. Let him be first and stop being a troll.
Bro, but I think the dark horse in that show, this biggest surprise, I had him fourth. No, I had him fourth. Kuklo. God damn, that dude looked good.
Yeah.
He looked really good, and Justin Rodriguez looked amazing. I didn't agree with his placing.
Another thing to talk about. So last show we went to was the 2020 Olympia that was in Tampa, peak COVID time. That production was legit. I kind of feel like the production quality of the Arnold was lacking. I don't know if it's because the
arena was terrible.
I don't know if it's because the video people haven't videoed a bodybuilding show, but in watching the show, we didn't have floor seats. I couldn't get floor seats. We're like in the next section, straight behind. These screens, you couldn't see anything. They didn't zoom in on anything during the show, so you really couldn't tell anything. You couldn't see the differences. You're just like, super far away. The screens weren't very big. The music wasn't loud. Everyone was exhausted from having been at the expo all day. It's now not like 8, 9 o'clock at night. And it's like there was no energy in the room until the very end when they were announcing winners.
Yeah, which we were energetic as hell.
That was kind of disappointing because, this is the best in the world. One of the shows to award the best in the world, and the energy sucked. It could have had a lot more production quality, in my opinion.
But nonetheless, overall, great experience.
Yeah.
And above all else, there are two standouts to me. One is seeing a bunch of smiling faces without any goddamn masks on. Another was hugging 1,000+ people. And I don't know what viruses I got, but I'm sure I got at least 3 of them. And another was seeing Brandon win. I mean, look, here's the deal. Like, I posted an Instagram of the 3 most ridiculous wins that were not family related, right? Obviously, Cammie scoring the game-winning goal for district championship was number 1. Cammie scoring the winning pin for regional title for wrestling was number 2. My boys didn't really win much this year, like other than just normal matches, right? 3 things stand out. One is Brandon winning, which had me near tears. The 2 others I cried. That was Noah Kang getting fit. I'm about to cry now. I can't do this. I can't talk about my kids. So one was Noah Kang.
Non-biological children. My
wrestlers. So Noah Kang placing 5th and Drew placing 4th in state. And those were the top because, and I enjoyed that more than getting my own pro card. So seeing Brandon win.
Yeah, I almost threw my phone. I have like a loopy on my phone and I was screaming, I was filming. I was like, ah, and my phone like.
But yeah, I can't, as you can tell, I take my kids, my non-biological kids, very seriously. No, Thomas and Preston, if we're going for the overall, they got some great ones. Thomas's first pin, a couple goals he had, but you got
we get the point. Yeah.
So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let us know your thoughts on the Arnold. This is more of a podcast format.
Thank you for all of our staff, business partners, people that came by that made work not work.
Yeah, and we like to thank the good Lord Jesus Christ. I'm just kidding. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Marc alongside the one who actually works here, Katie.
The booth was literally me and a piece of graph paper trying to put shit together.
It was a dope-ass booth. Anyway, y'all,
worked.
We'll see you guys at the Olympia, and that's not a game.
Look, bro, Ambrosia's Kinetic is back in stock. This is the only mushroom pre-workout on the market, and literally, this is all you need.
Don't need it. I just get mushrooms from the grocery store.
The type of mushrooms that I'm talking about, you can't buy in the grocery store. You need a shaman. Now, but seriously though, reishi, cordyceps, lion's mane, they do so many things. Antioxidants, not to mention the raw power that you're gonna get from the creatine. You're not gonna get this with that.
I don't eat creatine. I just eat steak.
So you'll need a few pounds of steak for the amount of creatine that we put in here.
It's all right, bro. I like steak.
Listen, man, the type of focus that you get from the ginseng, the neurofactor, the coffee bean, you're not getting that without Kinetic.
I get all the energy I need from coffee.
That's not enough caffeine. You're not going to get the same energy.
For energy, I get white powder right here.
You've lost your mind, but I still love you. Let's go train. I don't care what you're saying. We're taking Kinetic. This is all we need. Let's get out of here.